In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the mechanics of the first assignment. I really intend this assignment to be kind of like a dry run of how we're going to work in R this semester. A lot of you have taken the undergraduate bioinformatics course at Endicott with me, where we primarily I show examples and have students work in .r script files. Before this class, as we start to write longer scripts and we incorporate more packages, I really want to start having everyone work in Markdown files. The big difference between R scripts and Markdown files is just the organization of the file and how you can export it. So with an R file, it really is just a text file. You are able to put all of the commands that you would run on the command line down here. You can run individual lines by hitting Control Enter to be able to run them down in the console, or you can highlight all of the commands in the script with Control A and then click Run and run the whole script. So that is a very simple way to work with R programming. I still use R files when I'm doing something small like this assignment. So if I'm doing something where I'm just trying to troubleshoot reading it in, I often will work just in the console or in a simple R file because I know I'm only troubleshooting one or two commands. The point of this assignment is to be able to get data from a FASTA file into a structured format. So this is a interleave FASTA file. We have multiple sequences that are all approximately the same length. This is the kind of file that you'd use in a multiple sequence alignment tool like Clustal Omega. And you can bring one of these files in easily into R in a list. So the first way we're reading it in is to read it in with the default function. So read.fasta, the default view is to read it in as individual characters. So you can see that this list item is 29,704 items long, with each nucleotide being its own data. So that's a character array. And then a character vector. And then the second way that we read it in is as a string. Both of these are very important ways to store the information depending on what you want to do. So if you want to move through the characters one at a time, the character vector is a much better way to do it. But if you're going to manipulate them and then print them out into a new file, it's probably easier for you to have a list of strings. And so that's kind of the point of the assignment. See how those two very similar data types, how they actually differentiate. And then also just practice seeing the difference between running things in the .r file and in the RMD file. So in the Markdown file, one of the things that I like the most about it is this little play button right here. So we can divide our script up into logical chunks. As long as you keep the chunks short, it makes troubleshooting really easy. And rather than highlighting and then hitting the run key or hitting Control Enter, we can just click Run Current Chunk. And now we can troubleshoot each of those things individually. If I have a mistake somewhere and I run this, and then I run this, I don't have an error in the whole script that I have to look through. I can just look through this chunk and see, oh, I see it's highlighted right here. Read.fast is not a function. That's because it's supposed to be read.fasta. And then once you read it in, you get your character and string list, just like with the R script. So same code in both areas, just kind of playing around with those two ways of working. Once you have your files made, the second advantage to working in the Markdown file is being able to publish. So you can knit the file together and create an HTML file. And once you do that, you can publish it. And one of the places you can publish it is RPubs. This is something that I really recommend you do throughout the program. So we're going to have a lot of assignments where you're going to publish your work to RPubs. We'll have assignments where you're going to publish your work to shinyapps.io. We're going to have assignments where you publish work to GitHub. The idea is that after you graduate, you should have a portfolio of digital work that's easy to share with employers. I think it's much more powerful than telling someone on a resume in a skills section listing the word R if instead of listing R, I mean, it's not really a word, right? It's a single letter, but instead of just saying skills R, have that be a link, a hyperlink to your RPups page. Show them the kinds of visualizations, the kinds of things you know how to do. It means a lot more than just, publishing, just writing that like letter on your resume. So that's the idea with our first assignment. You can see it's very short, but hopefully it'll give you an appreciation of why Markdown is going to be a better tool for this semester.